from the soaring ramparts of the Great Wall to the neon-lit skylines of its futuristic cities. Few civilizations on Earth have changed so profoundly while remaining so deeply connected to their ancient roots. This is the story of China, a narrative of epic dynasties, brilliant innovation, and relentless transformation. It's a tale that stretches back millennia, yet shapes our world in powerful ways today. How did this ancient civilization become a modern superpower? Let's journey through 10 minutes of Chinese history. Our story begins over 3,000 years ago along the Yellow River, where the Shang dynasty laid the foundations of Chinese civilization. But it was the Zhou dynasty that introduced a concept that would echo for centuries: the mandate of heaven. This was the idea that a ruler's right to govern was granted by the heavens, but could be lost if they became unjust or incompetent. This created a dynamic cycle of rising and falling dynasties, each one building upon the last. The brilliant but short-lived Qin dynasty, under its first emperor Qin Shi Huang, unified China for the first time, standardizing writing, currency, and building the first version of the Great Wall. This laid the groundwork for the glorious Han Dynasty, a golden age that established the cultural and political identity of China for over 400 years. An identity so strong that the majority ethnic group in China still calls themselves the Han people. But no empire lasts forever. The fall of the Han Dynasty plunged China into a period of division known as the Three Kingdoms. It was a time of legendary warlords and epic battles immortalized in classic literature. Yet, out of this chaos, new ideas blossomed. Buddhism, arriving from India via the Silk Road, offered solace and a new spiritual path. It deeply influenced Chinese art, philosophy, and society, blending with native traditions like Confucianism and Taoism. After centuries of fragmentation, China was reunified under the Sui and then the Tem's dynasty, another spectacular golden age. The Tem's capital, Chang'an, was the most cosmopolitan city in the world, a vibrant hub of trade, poetry, and art that welcomed people from across Asia and beyond. This era of openness was followed by the Song dynasty, a period of incredible technological and economic advancement that saw the invention of gunpowder, the magnetic compass, and movable type printing. The might of the Song, however, could not withstand the storm from the north. In the 13th century, the Mongol hordes, led by Genghis Khan and his grandson Kublai Khan, swept across Asia and conquered China, establishing the Yuan dynasty. For the first time, all of China was ruled by foreigners. While the Mongols maintained their own customs, their rule also facilitated unprecedented exchange between East and West, famously documented by the Venetian merchant Marco Polo. But Mongol rule was relatively brief. Native resentment simmered, and a peasant rebellion eventually overthrew the Yuan, establishing the Ming dynasty. The Ming emperor sought to restore traditional Chinese values, rebuilding the Great Wall to its present-day grandeur, and launching incredible maritime expeditions led by the Admiral Zheng He, whose treasure fleet sailed as far as Africa decades before Columbus crossed the Atlantic. Yet, history repeated itself. In the 17th century, another group from beyond the wall, the Manchus, breached China's defenses and established the Qing, China's last imperial dynasty. The early Qing dynasty was a period of immense territorial expansion and stability. Under emperors like Kangxi and Qianlong, the empire reached its greatest geographic extent, ruling a vast, diverse population. For a long time, the Qing Empire saw itself as the undisputed center of the civilized world. However, this confidence bred isolation. By the 19th century, the industrializing powers of Europe, particularly Britain, were knocking aggressively on China's door, demanding trade on their own terms. The clash came to a head in the Opium Wars. China, as humiliating defeat, marked the beginning of what is known as the Century of Humiliation, a period of foreign invasions, unequal treaties, and internal rebellions that saw the once mighty empire crumble. The Qing dynasty, unable to adapt, finally collapsed in 1911, ending over 2,000 years of imperial rule. The fall of the empire left a power vacuum, and China plunged into decades of civil war and foreign invasion, most devastatingly by Japan during World War II. From this crucible of conflict, two main forces emerged: the nationalists led by Chiang Kai-shek and the communists led by Mao Zedong. After a brutal civil war, the communists emerged victorious, and in 1949, Mao declared the founding of the People's Republic of China. His goal was to build a strong, industrialized socialist state free from foreign domination. This era brought about radical and often catastrophic changes to Chinese society, including the Great Leap Forward and the Cultural Revolution, which caused immense suffering but also fundamentally transformed the country, breaking old social structures and forging a powerful, centralized state. After Mao's death in 1976, China was at a crossroads. It was his successor, Deng Xiaoping, who charted a new, pragmatic course, famously saying, "It doesn't matter if a cat is black or white, as long as it catches mice." Deng introduced market-style reforms and opened China to the global economy. He established special economic zones, like Shenzhen, which transformed from a small fishing village into a bustling metropolis. This policy unleashed an economic miracle. Over the next 4 decades, China experienced the most rapid and extensive economic growth in human history, lifting hundreds of millions of people out of poverty and completely reshaping the physical and social landscape of the nation. This explosive growth has propelled China into the 21st century as a major global power. Its economy is one of the largest in the world, its technological advancements are cutting-edge, and its political influence is felt on every continent. From the Belt and Road Initiative to its leadership in renewable energy, China is no longer just reacting to the world, it is actively shaping it. This rapid rise presents new opportunities and complex challenges both for China and for the international community. The world watches, trying to understand what China's re-emergence means for the future. Through all this incredible upheaval, from ancient empires to communist revolution to global capitalism, a powerful thread of cultural continuity remains. The Chinese writing system, which has been in use for over 3,000 years, still connects 1.5 billion people to their shared heritage. Philosophies like Confucianism continue to influence family values and social ethics, and traditional festivals, cuisine, and art forms are still celebrated, providing a sense of identity and belonging in a rapidly changing world. This is the central paradox of China: constant, radical change layered over a foundation of remarkable continuity. The story of China is not just a story of the past. It is a story that is still being written. It's a narrative of collapse and renewal, of isolation and openness, of tradition and modernity. From the first emperor to the latest smartphone, the history of China is a testament to the resilience of a civilization defined by its ability to change, adapt, and endure. Thank you so much for joining this journey through time. If you found this fascinating, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more deep dives into our world's incredible history. See you next time.